Good morning and welcome to Coffee with the Port St. Lucie Mayor. I am Teresa Aronson from the St. Lucie County Chamber of Commerce. It is our pleasure, our honor for right now to facilitate this every third Friday of the month. I'm not even sure, but we are going to switch it up. We're going to change it to a Thursday. So keep posted. We'll put that on our Facebook page. The city will put it on their Facebook page, and we'll make sure that we email blast that out. This show will be changing to a Thursday in the very near future. The mayor couldn't be with us today, so we have pinch hitting for her, the vice mayor. It's going to be her very first time on the show. I'm kind of excited about that. And I'm going to start the show, as we always do, with our sponsor. And of course, that's Mid-Florida Credit Union. And I have a representative from Mid-Florida. Actually, she's the regional vice president, which is very exciting. She's used to do the show a lot more and visits from time to time now. And she brought a special guest, who we've talked about many, many times. Mid-Florida Credit Union does so much in this community, and oftentimes they use the time here to highlight one of the nonprofits that they're working with. So first, welcome Shrita Walker there at the end from Mid-Florida Credit Union. Oh, you got your own cheering section. I love it.
I do too.
And you brought a special guest, which, you know, I'm very familiar with her, as you know. Both of you have been through our ambassador group and leadership, oddly enough. So please feel free to introduce Megan.
So Megan is the executive director of PACE Center for Girls, an organization that's very near and dear to my heart. So I'm not going to take up too much time because I want her to have time to be able to talk about the organization. So thank you and welcome, Megan.
Hi, Megan.
Thank you, Teresa.
It's nice to see you. It's nice to have you. So PACE Center for Girls is just an awesome, awesome organization. When we first met you, you were with Boys and Girls Club. Actually, no, I've known you since you were at the paper, I think. The newspaper. We all started out at the newspaper. Raise your hand, community, if you started at the paper at one time or another, because I think most of us did. But yes, Megan, you were at the newspaper, then you went to Boys and Girls Club, and then you had this great opportunity to take over a really, really great organization. First, tell us, what does PACE do?
So PACE helps girls 11 to 18 who have fallen behind academically, socially, and emotionally get back on track. And we do that through an intense academic program in lieu of public school that also provides wraparound counseling skills and services.
And that's so important because many of these girls would probably either fall through the cracks, not graduate, fall into some systemic behavior. But PACE kind of interferes and gives them a second chance at their high school career, and really addresses the issues that are causing them to maybe fall behind in their high school career. What kind of services do you guys have as wraparound?
So all of our girls work with our counselors. So they can work with them every day, which is really awesome. It's different from public school, right? So if they just can't concentrate in class, something's going on, they literally can take that break, go do a 5 or 10 minute counseling session, decompress, and go right back into class. They also work with the families. We provide case management. We link to services, in addition to the instruction of our core classes: English, science, reading, math, social studies, and then we do social skills through our Spirited Girls class.
And do they graduate from PACE, or how does the diploma portion?
It is a St. Lucie Public School diploma. So we are considered an alternative school with St. Lucie Public Schools. We work very closely with them. Our girls will transition to PACE, and then they'll transition back to public school prior to graduation.
Okay, so they can graduate with their class.
Yep.
Very good. And how many girls can you serve typically?
In a year, we serve over 100 girls. And then once they transition back to public school, we continue to follow them for another year. So we know life doesn't stop happening, right? And although we've given the girls the coping skills and strategies that they need to be successful, sometimes, you hit that bump in the road and you just need that extra little support to keep on that right path. So we continue to follow them for at least a year, but our motto is once a PACE girl, always a PACE girl. So once they come to our program, they're always a part of our family, and we continue to work with them as long as they need the support.
And you are a nonprofit. You're a private nonprofit, right?
Yes.
So how do you guys assist? How are you funding yourselves? What is it that the general public can help you out with?
So as a nonprofit, of course, we need to fundraise. So we rely on the community for support, individual and corporate giving. And then, of course, we will be putting on some events in the near future. We're very excited about that. We do have an upcoming golf tournament in April, May. We're working out the details, but as soon as we have them, we will get that out to the community. We are also working on a Girls Summit in March, which we're very excited about. So it's going to be an empowerment day for our girls, really kind of lift them up, do the whole 9 yards with breakout sessions, keynote speaker, a Wonder Woman panel, really kind of give them that day of love and empowerment and education.
Very nice, very nice. Well, let me know about the golf tournament. Don't forget, allthingstreasurecoast.com has all those tournaments, any event that you're putting on. We'd like to share it with not just St. Lucie County, but the entire Treasure Coast and be supportive. Beautiful. And if somebody is looking for a little help with maybe their teenage daughter, or there's somebody in a school right now thinking this might be a great referral for one of the kids they're interacting with, what should they do?
You can visit our website at www.pacecenter.org. You can follow us on Facebook at Pace Center Treasure Coast, or you can call us at 772-595-8880.
Okay, 3 8s and a 0. Got it. Thank you, Megan, for sharing that with us. And thank you for doing such a good job with this program and bringing a lot of attention to it. It's been in the area for how many years?
22.
Yeah, so I've come in contact with some of the girls that have graduated from there or graduated through the program, but graduated with their high school and been involved a little bit. And it's really just such a wonderful program. I appreciate all the work that you're doing. And Shrita, of course, Mid-Florida is responsible for bringing in Megan today and supporting that program. What else do you guys have going on right now?
Well, same old, trying to give away some money.
Yes, always trying to give away some money. There might be some strings, like you may have to pay it back, but...
Well, yes. Our car loans, again, still very low, 1.99 right now. Credit card, 2.5% cash back all the time, no annual fee. So that's a really, really good credit card to have. If you open an account with direct deposit, we're giving away $200. If you refinance a vehicle, you're also eligible for $200. So lots of good ongoing promotions that we have.
And are you looking for any employees?
We are always looking for peak time tellers.
Yes.
Yes.
And where would they go to apply?
midflorida.com/careers.
Yeah, if you're looking for something to do, maybe just want to be a part-time teller at one of the branches, please head on over. It's very hard to find help, I know. So if you can get a plug in for some...
Thank you, Teresa.
Of course, I'm here for you. All right, we're going to take a short break, and we're going to come back with our Vice Mayor, Jolene Caraballo. It's going to be her first time on the show, so stay with us, everybody. Welcome back to Coffee with the Port St. Lucie Mayor. I am Teresa Aronson from the St. Lucie County Chamber of Commerce, and I am joined for the very first time, making her debut on this show. It is the newly anointed Vice Mayor of the beautiful city of Port St. Lucie, Jolene Caraballo. Very nice. I like that you got a little applause for that.
Thank you very much.
So congratulations, first of all, for being named the Vice Mayor of Port St. Lucie. This is a new role for you, and this is the very first time you've done the show with me. So for many years that Greg Oravec was mayor, he was the only one that did it. We made it work. If we couldn't do it, we worked around it. And then Shannon came in, and she's allowing people to sub for her, and I'm really enjoying it. We had Russ last month, and now you for the very first time.
Thank you very much for having me. Hopefully I don't let anybody down. I laugh. It's interesting going into this new role and making sure that you do the job that's necessary when the mayor isn't available. And one of the main jobs that the mayor does have is being the spokesperson for the city and to speak on behalf of the city. So even though it's not necessarily, I feel like a title bestowed, it's more in sense of this heavy responsibility to ensure that I put the message out that's consistent for the board when the mayor can't be here. So.
Good. Well, I want everybody to take a moment to get to know you. So how long have you served? You've been in Port St. Lucie for a very long time. Just tell us a little bit about yourself first.
So I moved in as a child in Port St. Lucie in 1991. I'll let you figure out the number of what the age is. And I grew up here. I love telling the story because I met my husband at the Treasure Coast Mall. So it's kind of like everything that's happened in my life is local. I went to local schools here. I went to Southport Middle School as well as Port St. Lucie High School. Recently, and I haven't really told a lot of people recently, I've decided to actually go back to college and attending courses at IRSC. Hoping to get a degree in the future for public administration. And then I was blessed and honored to have the privilege to serve after running local businesses in the area in 2016. And since that time, I have truly enjoyed the ability to be part of the process. And I say that because I really truly believe in my heart that a council member is really just that one little cog in the wheel of bringing forward the public's voice and providing really what the constituency wants to see their city become. And so for the entrustment from the public of them saying, Jolene, we want you to speak and put our voice on the table, it's been very humbling. And it's an honor every day. I wake up every morning enjoying my job, and I can't thank the public enough for entrusting me with this position.
Well, it's very nice to have you, and you and your family are lovely people. I don't think you've moved very far since you moved here in '91, have you?
No, I literally live in almost the exact same neighborhood. I've lived in the district since I was a child. I've never moved outside my district. And I live a street away from my mom. So, it was interesting when that happened. We weren't planning on it, right? Because every person was like, when I buy my first house, I want to live somewhere near my parents, but maybe not right next to my parents. I fell in love with the house that literally the street, and plus my neighborhood. My neighborhood is right by Coral Reef, for anybody that knows where that's at. And it's not too far from the Crosstown Bridge. Mm-hmm. And our neighborhood is awesome. I mean, we live I feel like our city is very multicultural. I live in a very multicultural neighborhood. We have a lot of kids. We have retirees. We literally have a mix of what I consider our city, or what I would love to see the entire country, resemble. We just have a mix of everything, and I love it.
We really do. It's so funny to me that, 60 years, the makeup of St. Lucie County was so drastically different, because we now are one of the top diverse cities in America. So it's really amazing how far we've come. I love that. What is Coral Reef? I'm not familiar with that, oddly enough.
So Coral Reef is a street that is right off the river, right by Floresta. So
Okay.
It's basically, if you go down, it's underneath the bridge. So if you go underneath the Crosstown Bridge, that's Coral Reef.
Okay, very good. I didn't realize that.
And really quick about diversity, there's actually an article, and I think also in Christian Science recently, that released, I don't know if it's 34983 or 34984, it's actually one of those two is one of the most diverse zip codes in the nation, they say.
Yeah, actually, they reached out to me about that article. I do remember that, and it was Christian Science Monitor.
Yeah.
Very good. A lot going on in the city. Now, this is your first time on the show, so sometimes I like to take the first, 30 seconds or more and answer questions that I know we're going to get.
Okay.
So we always, it's always a discussion on, shutting the city down. I moved here because it wasn't, as crowded as South Florida, so turn the faucet off. I want to be the last one. And we always...
No one else.
Yes, I want to be the last one here. And I moved here because there wasn't, a ton of people here. But the reality is those lots are residential. Those owners have every right to develop those residential lots. So you can't, by law, turn it off when those residential homes are built out. Maybe we can stop then, right? And so how many? I think there's 8,000 left out towards tradition. There's... probably 4,000 or 5,000 left scatter lot. So there's still more to come.
Yes.
But we can't do anything to stop that.
No, we cannot. It is basically the city has what they're called entitlements, and these entitlements give the developer the ability to utilize their property rights and be able to provide these homes. But I think it's important also to hit on the fact that the city works very diligently to ensure that their impacts are actually being taken care of, that they are providing for schools, that they're providing a balance of amenities. I think with the addition of Southern Grove in the most recent times, we've really have been able to capture a little bit of the balance, because we've been highly residential. So by being able to provide a corridor that will create 22,000 jobs and over $2.2 billion in economic impact at full build out, and not just do that, but see that it's coming to fruition fairly quickly.
It's coming very quickly.
You know, that's a really cool process to be a part of. And I know, listen, when I moved here, I want to say there was probably maybe 70,000. It was probably less than that, but I want to be conservative and not say it was super, super small, but it was pretty small. And I came from South Florida, and everybody wants Port St. Lucie to stay exactly how it is. And I understand that. You know, I sometimes myself would be lying to say if I wish I couldn't keep it the way it is. But the truth is, we are the third largest city in the state in land size.
In land size, not population, but
in land size.
Yes.
So when you consider the fact that we're over 121, I think 124-ish square miles, and you look into comparison of the potential of that, it's very difficult to say we're going to develop 80 miles and 40 acres are going, or 40 square miles are going to stay exactly the way they are. Never. That's almost that doesn't happen, and I don't know of any city. But the good news is that I feel very fortunate that we've have great partnerships with our developers, that they're helping assist us when we come building the city, building our roads, creating beautiful pathways. I mean, look at Tradition. Who can argue that Tradition is one of the most beautiful, smaller types of communities within the city of Port St. Lucie? Even St. Lucie West, which was so long ago, still to this day holds merit as far as its development of its master plan. So we're trying to do it right, learning from the past, but also learning from sister cities that have also done it right.
So it's important to note that we have created the jobs corridor in Southern Grove, which is up along 95, south of Tradition, realistically. But we need those businesses, we need those jobs to help sustain the growth that we intend, or, well, not intend, but we most likely will receive here in St. Lucie County. So most of our people were leaving the county to go to work, and that they take their money with them. And when they work in the community they live in, more money circulates within that community. So we need to sustain ourselves with infrastructure and amenities, and a lot of that's going to come from these businesses that we're attracting.
Yeah, and that's a great point. So obviously, I haven't gotten Cheesecake Factory in a while, but I get Costco, I get Trader Joe's, I get all these different, suggestions and more of why doesn't the city bring this? And it's always important to touch on the fact that the city is not responsible or able to bring those amenities. It's really the numbers. It is all numbers. I want to pretend there's little guys somewhere in the top floor of an executive building that are crunching these numbers and figuring out where are we going to put our next investment.
They are doing that.
That's exactly what they're doing, or using a computer in today's day and age and pressing a button.
Yes.
But until the city reaches a disposable income of a certain level, that's what gives the thresholds of when or where something will come. So having these jobs and creating above average wage of St. Lucie County is imperative to ensure that we are going to be able to grow our economy so we can provide the amenities that so many people want and enjoy from the other places that they may have came from.
So coming from a chamber background, we're pro-business, but I don't see retail as economic development. I don't believe it is. It is the result of economic development. So when you reach all of those disposable income requirements, median age, and actually median income that these national retails require to establish a location in your community, when that happens, they will come. Until it does, they will not. There is nothing that we can do to change that except expand our job growth and our median wage. And that's what we're doing right now. So we usually do. Cheesecake Factory, I think, it was a victim of the millennials, along with McDonald's and a couple of those other things, that is not as popular as it once was. The Costco seems to be a hot button now. When I first moved here, it was Hooters, oddly enough. Now, not so much.
I remember that.
Yes, everyone wanted a Hooters. It changes. Trader Joe's, Costco, that's where people want now. But again,
We're getting a Fresh Market.
we're getting a Fresh Market, which I'm excited about, and I think I'm very excited that they're taking over a space that was left empty from the collapse of Lucky's. So I'm super excited about the Fresh Market and things like that. They should really, look forward to. But don't forget, just because Port St. Lucie is a very large city, I don't know what the census is going to say, but I'm guessing 206 maybe.
Yeah, they said close to that, but the Bieber has us at 214, which I think is actually closer. Just because
Probably.
when the census came in, it felt a little short.
Low, yeah.
But then the Bieber number came in and it came in higher. And I think that one that's what I don't know how you say this, that's what it feels like, but that's what it feels like. It feels more like 214.
Yeah. You drive on certain roads at certain times of days, it definitely feels like 214.
Hey, it feels like 214.
Yes, this is a 214 day. Well, so we're right around 206, but if you think about it, everywhere else around us are nowhere near that. I mean, Fort Pierce is still hovering around 43,000 people. And a lot of these places want 1 million residents within a certain, distance from their locations. Well, boy, we gotta drive a long way to get to that, because with Okeechobee, Indian River, and Martin County, we're not getting there.
So, and that's the thing. They also look at Metropolitan Statistical
Radius or area or something.
Area.
Yeah.
The MSA. And so I don't want to just use the acronym. I want to try to provide the context. But yeah, so the MSA basically lets know what the regional area is doing, and they also look at that. And I think we're in the Martin, they have like a region for Martin County area in it specifically. And sometimes I do think it might overlap a little bit into Palm Beach, but Palm Beach is the big dog in our area. And then north, you think about the Orlando MSA. And so even though Port St. Lucie is extremely convenient in the sense where it's right in the middle between Palm Beach and Orlando, we also pay for that in a way, because, you might have an IKEA that says, well, I don't know if we need an IKEA. The MSA in Orlando has an IKEA, and then there's one in Fort Lauderdale. There better be some real significant numbers to be able to put one in Port St. Lucie. And I think that a lot of people see it and they think, oh, well, we have a big population, we can get that too. And there's a lot more that goes into what I've learned, at least.
Yeah.
What I've learned working with some of our retail strategists, there's a lot more that goes into that.
So we're kind of living in the middle here. We're living in the middle between metropolitan areas. We're living in the middle of the median income. We're just really living in the middle. And a lot of times that they need a push to get us over that hump. But I like that too, because again, like you, I struggle with how big I want us to be. I don't think anybody wants to move here in 1990 or 2000 and say, oh, I can't wait till we get 1 million people in my backyard. I don't think anybody thinks that way, but that's just not how the world works.
So it's interesting, right? This is my experience. People that have lived here forever. How many people in the audience have lived here forever?
No
20
one.
plus years, a lifetime.
20 plus years. I haven't done that.
Okay, there's like 3 people that have been here 20 plus years. I think the people that have been here forever, that have watched the city grow, you might find some excitement, but you also might find that if you've lived here a long time, you're the kind of the one that says, I don't know how much more growth I want to see, because I miss my old city.
Yeah. I can't imagine for the people that have been here a long time are like, oosh.
Some of the new people do exactly what you say. They say they get here and they're like, I left to not be busy and not deal with traffic. But in the same scope, I've had that same person say, so when are we getting this?
Yeah.
And when are we getting this? And why don't we have a mall? And why don't we have a downtown? And I'm like, because we have to have the population that you don't want to be able to support
To
that.
have those, yeah. We want it all. It's America. We want it all.
Everything.
We want it all. We want it all, and we want it our way. So yes. Anyway, well, it does bring up a good something that we probably should touch over, and I did talk about it with Russ Blackburn, City Manager Russ Blackburn, last month, but we have our tax abatement coming up, and that is, we're voting December 7th, or vote by mail, you're voting right now, or early voting starts I don't even know.
I don't know when early voting starts.
I know.
In my head.
A little bit before the 7th.
Special election is still all off in my mind.
Yeah, early voting is earlier than December 7th. That's all we know. But anyway, if you live in the city of Port St. Lucie, and that is city proper, not just a Port St. Lucie address, like you are in the taxing district of the city of Port St. Lucie, you're going to have 2 things to vote on your ballot. One is a replacement for the mayor in District 3 on the council. And we have 2 candidates. It's a runoff situation between Travis Walker and Anthony Bono for that seat. And then, of course, the tax abatement. We want to renew that. I think it's important that people understand this has been in place for the last 10 years. And we just want to renew it. It is not money given out. Nobody is writing a check to anybody for this tax abatement. So I know Russ and I got into it in deep conversation last time, and I can encourage people to vote yes because I have a PAC. I don't know if they can air that part, but hey, we're live on Facebook. But we need this to be competitive for those higher paying jobs, which are going to sustain our infrastructure. So we need to have this tax abatement tool, and I hope people understand it. But really, it is just a small tax abatement. How much of the taxes are they getting in abatement? Which meaning they just don't have to pay this for a short amount of time. It's not money we're giving them. You just don't have to pay this portion of your bill for up to 10 years, maybe as short as 5.
Well, I think firstly, if you allow me, I want to go a little bit back just so people really understand. When it comes to the tool of this tax abatement, this is a tool that is offered by the state of Florida as a whole. So the state of Florida essentially said, we're going to, instead of local government being able to blanketly do a tax abatement, and you know what? I don't mind bringing up the past sometimes to give some context. So people have been concerned about past deals that the city might have made years and years ago, right? So the state of Florida provided this tool with the caveat that the public had to almost basically vote for a referendum to endorse this tool. And the reason why I want to lay that out is because if, for example, this was not to pass, it doesn't mean other cities aren't doing it. It just means we don't have access to it. Because the tool is given by the taxpayers, by the referendum, to allow us to utilize this as a tool. If we don't have the tool, then we will not be able to offer some of the same incentives that other cities are able to offer, which could be good or bad. It's really up to the resident to understand what would they like to see as far as how many tools we have in the toolbox to attract employment. And then as far as what is offered, it's really based upon, number one, what type of business. So the city has zeroed in the Southern Grove area, the type of businesses that we need to attract to create high wage jobs with that focus of higher jobs of higher than the average current income of this county. So number one, they have to qualify that way. The other thing they have to do is they get an abatement based upon how many jobs that are in that higher wage income. So if they have 200 jobs and out of the 200 jobs, only 50 are above the average wage, they're not going to get that full credit for all 200 jobs that they're bringing in. They have to make sure that they're hitting that mark. And then there is clawbacks. So there isn't the situation where it's just a blanket tax abatement. They automatically get this forever and ever if they don't meet expectations. No, if they don't meet expectations, they don't qualify for their taxes next year and they pay full freight. So I want to make sure that there's all these different parameters to ensure that we are being responsible and fiscally responsible with this abatement if provided by referendum. But how much is provided is usually what I've seen in the past is what we do is it's a 5-year abatement and then the next 5 years is a sliding scale. The amount of the abatement really is dependent on, again, what the factors of what I said. If they're offering higher than wage jobs, how many of those higher wage jobs are they actually providing? And what is the actual size and scope of the business? And do they meet the criteria of the type of businesses that we're looking to expand? And those, by the way, are usually in the manufacturing sector, the technology sector. You know, those are the type of things that we look for as far as potential expansion for jobs. And more importantly, these are based upon what the market can hold in our area. So when we say these things, it's not like we're crossing out certain job types. It's our work with the EDC, our work with the ULI, our work with different organizations that look at your area and say, here is what your job market can support based upon a host of factors.
Yeah, job force, all that kind of good stuff. So we just want people to renew this. It's not something you're going to pay.
You get to say that.
I get to say that. Yes, it's not something you're paying as a citizen. In fact, realistically, the more that we have big businesses in the area, the more likely it's going to be able to reduce the millage of the taxes you pay on your property. So it could mean less tax for you in the future. So I want people to understand that. We've got early voting schedule up on the screen. Hopefully we can put that up on Facebook. I'm not really sure how that works. I just sit here and talk. But early voting starts November 27th, and it goes through December 4th. You can do it here in the city at the Community Center, the Civic Center, or the Paula Lewis Library on Rosser.
And to your point, you said you're talking about the different jobs so when the FedEx comes in, let's say, it's not just FedEx that comes in and creates jobs. they also have supporting industries that have to support all of their equipment and everything that goes into that, plus the construction jobs that it creates. And when we talk about residual taxation or taxes that are brought into the coffers eventually to be able to alleviate, when people ask about, well, why are taxes the way they are in our county? I think the reason why, in many ways, is because we are, what I've been told by economists, is that we're highly residential. And so many areas have this commercial development that allows that balance of commercial versus residential. So this is going to hopefully help provide that balance moving forward, which, like you said, helps remove some of the burden off of us in regards to just basically pushing the full freight of taxes and having to support it off of residential.
And just think about all of the ancillary income that comes with that. I mean, everything out at those big facilities, some of them are 1 million square feet. We have a couple million square feeters coming in. They AC, cleaning, plumbing, they need to eat. Their drivers need to eat. They need to buy gas. They're going to buy amenities. So just think about all of the extra income that is produced, not just from the taxes that they're paying here locally, but because of the people they're bringing in and keeping here to work. So that money is going to get circulated up to 3 times within the community, which we are very, very thankful for.
And I remember when I first ran, one of the things I ran on, because I have 2 children. My son is 19, he's in the Air Force. My daughter's 10. And one of the things that I felt strongly about back then was making sure that we have jobs that when our children, they may go away to college, but we want, I'm selfish. Some parents
You want
may not,
yours back.
You know I
how
do.
you are. I know you do. You don't want yours out of the house at all.
Yeah, I want mine to come back. They can be out of the house. I just like them to be somewhere in the vicinity of not, and they don't have to even live a street away, put it that way, for my mom that might be watching. But the whole thing is that I do want opportunities for our children to be able to feel like they want to come back and raise their families in Port St. Lucie. But the only way that happens is if we have jobs for them.
We do have to have jobs. I can, for me, all 3 of my children, I now have one in Seattle, one in Jefferson, Missouri, and one in the Allegheny Mountains. So,
But you're okay with yours not coming back?
I've made my peace with it. I'll say that. The house is clean, and so I'm not. I like it when they visit. I wish they would all visit at the same time. That's the thing they don't tell you.
They clean once.
Well, we never get together as a group anymore because there's so many of them, and I would have to rent out the Mid-Florida Event Center to get them all in one place at this point. So they have to come in shifts. Unfortunately, that's the bad part. But yeah, do we have any questions? We have no questions yet again. I told you this morning.
It's all right.
Wait. You can't just shout out. Is this your first day back, Dr. Jack? He literally didn't even wait to get recognized. He just started shouting out his question. First, I'm going to acknowledge that you have a question. Now you may come up to the...
Carissa, it looks like you're training for one day to be mayor. Look at you.
Well, it was just funny to me that he just Okay. All right, Dr. Jack. It's lovely to see you, and you're right. We haven't seen you for a couple years here, so...
And there used to be a microphone that would come around. So
There was. Cutbacks. COVID's been rough on
what's the present status of abatements here in the city?
Do we have that tax
We
abatement?
have that right now, and is this just a continuation of the practice of policy that we have now?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we do currently have those abatements, and I'll give you some most recent examples like TAMCO, FedEx,
Expert
Oculus,
Shutters.
Expert Shutters, Amazon, I think also. No, that's right. They're not.
We didn't ask for it. Excel.
Excel. And so this has been a part of our process for, I want to say, since the 90s.
I don't know when it started. I haven't been here since the 90s. I'm sorry. I'm not
I was
one
going to
of
say
you.
since 1996. Yeah, I was in high school. So it's been around that long. And it's worked. It's provided a lot of opportunities for businesses. It's like Expert Shutters. I look at Expert Shutters. I mean, that's a great example. Local business.
He started in his garage right here in Port St. Lucie.
Absolutely. I mean, if you don't know the Expert Shutter story, I think those owners are always so proud to tell it. So make sure that either you reach out to them or let us know. We actually probably have some video on it. I mean, I think it's one of the greatest hometown stories. And they started in the garage. They continue to build. And when they went to go to expand, one of the main reasons they were able to expand to the level that they're at now was because of the tax abatement. And they basically said that to us personally is, not for this tax abatement, we probably wouldn't have been able to do what we have done. So
Yeah.
Which is kinda cool.
1994. 1996?
6.
And you were in high school?
Yes, ma'am. Jaguars, go Port St. Lucie High.
Much, much older than you. No idea. Okay, anybody else have any questions? Oh, we have a question online? She's going to type it out. But you have a question, Jeff? You want to come up to the podium?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, come on up.
Oh, cool.
Thank you. It is so nice to see you.
Good to see you too, sir.
And I thank you for being here and being a part of the Coffee with the Vice Mayor.
Thank you.
My question is kind of jumbled, so follow me, please. Financially speaking, the majority of the jobs that are being created are in the $14 to $15.50 wage area. When you say high-paying jobs, okay, exclude Amazon because they didn't want any kickers, okay? When you do the calculations, let's just say that they're going to be full-time, and full-time is typically 2,050 hours a year. Okay, so when you do the math, that comes out to $30,750. Now, as a rule of thumb, to buy a house, it's usually a third, 3 times the value of your income. That only puts it at 90 grand, and our average home price here is 200 and let's just say $250,000. Okay. So when you say full, like high-paying jobs, are these workers going to have a place to live?
So that's a very good question. I would say that I would like to bring you company by company, so you can actually look at the average wage, because every job that is created above the average wage would qualify for the tax abatement. So remember, I also look at the fact that we have to start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So you have to, in order for you to continue to raise your average income, one would assume, again, this is just my opinion, that you have to continue to increase that income level in your community. So it'd be almost unrealistic for us to be here and then assume that we're going to start producing jobs that average $100,000 a year overnight. As the home prices go up, obviously the wages are going to also rise with that. And I mean, and that's everywhere in the country. That's not just us. I think I've seen, and I don't want to quote this because I think it would be, I could be putting out information that I'm not recalling, but there's a lot of these companies that I thought that it averaged like even $20 an hour on some of the jobs.
Yeah, I think that has to be
Plus.
1770.
Yeah, I think it's higher than what you're putting, but I don't want to. I don't want to.
That's just what I've heard.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to get your take on it.
Yeah, I think it's higher, and so
It is.
I don't want to correct you without
Even
having.
at $20 an hour, that's like 40 grand. And if you multiply, it's 160. They are renting. They have to.
Right, but if we're really comparing apples to apples, to be fair, and you're a realtor, would you say that the Palm Beach wages are actually in complete alignment with their actual home prices today? Like if I was going to go work in Palm Beach and then live in Palm Beach, do you really think?
Absolutely not.
That's
Job for job. So if I'm working at Amazon in Palm Beach and I'm working on Amazon here, what is the percentage difference? So I think that in that situation, you need a dual income. We're not saying that this will solve all your problems, but this will increase the wages in our area. But that doesn't mean it's going to qualify you as a one income family home.
And if you look at the DINK, the double income, no kids, then it's okay.
Yeah.
Then you're boosting it up to a level where they could afford a 3-2, 1,800 square foot home.
Yeah. And that's kind of the way of the world, let's be
Yeah.
honest. It's been that way for a century, or nearly a century. Oh my gosh, yeah, it's been that way for a long time, that you need a double income realistically to
Correct.
provide a middle class lifestyle,
But and here's what I can tell you is that my mom and dad both worked, but my mom eventually was able to stay home with us. But when my mom and my dad were both working at the same time, like I remember where we lived wasn't enough to sustain us. So both my parents had to work outside of their city. And I look at this situation, let's say it's a double income situation, because we're offering the higher than average wage job, even if to maintain you need a double income, I see it from the perspective of even if one parent can stay close by or one person can stay close by, because now we had that higher than average job wage to keep at least one person close. Instead of, I feel living here that if you'd have to actually both of you go down, to go down south. Most of our jobs do go down south. So I would feel like you have to right now both go down south to be able to maintain an income, just like people that live in Palm Beach go down to Miami area or that area to work. My dad did when we lived down south. So I think now this is going to provide us the opportunity to provide more competitive jobs here and be able to provide that higher average wage. So you may be able to sustain depending on how you live. But if at a minimum, even I see it as a parent thing, if I can stay here and work and my husband goes down or vice versa, it just provides opportunity. And we're building that threshold too. So it's increasing that threshold. I mean, when I started working, minimum wage was around $5 an hour. And we know that the average wage is going to go up because the referendum that passed for the state of Florida. But, I really feel that we are starting to at least be more competitive with our average wage, but we're still maintaining an affordable house in comparison to the state of Florida, even though that number is getting high.
And down south, I don't know if it's affordable, but we certainly have a lower home median price.
Well, you hear Pete Tesh and Jill Marassa talk about, oh my gosh, we got another 500 jobs, we got another 1,000 jobs. My thought is just, where are they going to live? We don't have Brightline coming up here yet, and so we can't import them from Palm Beach. So I don't know. It's just a thought, and I just
Thank
wanted
you
to
for
get
the question. And I think he's right. We haven't figured out all our problems, but if we did, what would we need a council for?
No, and actually, I don't pretend to ever figure out all our problems. I think that community partners like yourself and the realtors and our citizens that are experiencing issues help provide context to what we do and give us the ability to continue to grow and be better. I mean, I think that's what this is about. This is about us being better and continuing to raise the bar and raise the level. And I think that with the jobs that are coming forward, we have raised that level. And one person or one company that I have not brought up, who I think is going to be they're already a huge player, but when they begin to continue to expand, is Cleveland Clinic. What they're doing regionally in our area is going to elevate the job market here to a very high level. And if the FCB, which I know they're doing wonderful things at the Florida Center of Bioscience, the Cleveland Clinic, if they're able to really start to spur off and create different therapies, I mean, they were studying COVID. They're literally getting into some really good stuff. If they're able to spur off some therapies and create certain vaccines and stuff and produce them here, because we have the ability in Southern Grove to produce them here if they can find that financially feasible, I mean, it will dramatically change our economy. And so I feel like we're in the up. And
of course, yes. You're correct.
Yeah, I feel like we're in the up, and we have a lot to look forward to, and we're going to continue to push through the challenges as we get them.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jeff. We're running out of time, so we're going to try to tackle this next question. So we have a question from online, and that is, what plans are there for new residents of PSL to get plugged in with NICE and other community initiatives? First of all, explain NICE to everybody.
NICE is our neighborhood program, and first of all, God bless the person that asked this question, because we need more and more residents to participate if they're able to. The NICE program has many different initiatives, and this is all about your neighborhood and your community and getting plugged in locally to your community. So whether you want to be part of litter cleanup, whether you want to be part of your neighborhood discussions, this is the area that you want to participate in. The biennial NICE meetings right now are going on, and you can.
Okay, but I still don't know what NICE is, and I really don't know what NICE is. What does it stand for, and who, like,
ask me that.
I'm sorry.
Neighborhood.
Staff will handle that one.
I'm going to think.
So it's an online group?
Engagement. I think it's neighborhood.
They're meeting in person? Do you meet with just your neighborhood?
Neighborhood improvement, community Community engagement, yes, that's what.
Okay, so do you meet with just the people in your neighborhood? Is it like next door? Is it only online? Like, I don't know either, to be honest with you.
So part of our residents that have moved to the city have identities from where they come from. So think up north, you have, Bronx, Brooklyn, you have all these different areas. And part of what our citizens said to us is our city's so big, they keep on saying, well, you go to that part of the city, it's north of Floresta. You go right there and that's where you want to go. Well, the city said, we're tired of that. We're going to try to give identity. And they took basically the planning lines and split the city up in different sections to provide neighborhood names, neighborhood identities.
Yeah, we did that. We talked about that at length when they did that, like Woodland Trails and, Cranes Landing. Okay, so that's your nice neighborhood.
Yep. And I'm Riverview.
Okay. And so right now, the people in your nice neighborhood, in your, Woodland Trails, Riverview, are meeting together virtually?
Yep, they're meeting together virtually, and there's 35 named neighborhoods. And you can go onto the cityofpsl.com/nice, and you can find out exactly where you live by using your address and figure out what community you're a part of. And then there's biannual meetings that our team does. And in these meetings, they discuss a host of different things. If you're having issues in your community and you need special attention, maybe your area is a little bit more litter than the rest of the city and you want to bring that to our attention, and we can help plan that out, how we can be responsive. One of the things that I love that I can't wait to see more engagement of is events, doing local community events, whether it's a movie night, a block party. We want to help you do that as well. It's all about community engagement and getting us to unite more as a community. And I think after especially the COVID-19 pandemic, now more than ever, we need to engage the community and each other.
Well, I'm not sure. Is anybody here a member of their NICE? Did you know about NICE before today? I didn't know about it. So I think maybe that's the start is, it exists. It is based on your named community, which you can find at cityofpsl.com/nice, and get involved. Okay, very good. So we tackled that one.
I could talk about it all day.
I see that.
I know.
What else do we have going on? Any more questions from the audience? No? Oh, wow. That was, okay, very good. Yeah, come on up to the podium and give us your question. We're getting a little short on time, but we'll try to tackle whatever questions are.
I'm not sure if this question is supposed to geared, but this is my first week here. I just moved to person
Well, welcome.
from Queens.
Ah.
My husband was from Queens.
Yes, so moving down here, want to transfer my business because I'm a clinician. And one of the biggest thing is I'm a virtual classroom professor as well. Did not know the home that I purchased, there is no Wi-Fi in the area. So that's an issue. So I had to I'm working from West Palm, where my family resides. Who would be in charge of getting the areas around that does not have Wi-Fi up
Who
to
doesn't
date?
have
Up
Wi-Fi?
to speed.
In the
Up
city.
to speed. So you don't have to give me your exact address, but where exactly around the area do you live so I can have a vicinity
Right
idea?
off of US 1, I guess it's Kitterman Road or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that I would, that's county, right? Okay. So I would we can reach out to the county. I'll do that for you on our behalf. If you want, give me your information and we'll get with Brandon and our team upstairs and we'll make sure that we'll get you hooked up with someone in the county to help you navigate that. Usually it is like AT&T and
None of them service, and Comcast just recently started working there, but that's such an inconvenience.
Xfinity.
So, confession, my husband works for AT&T, so I don't know enough, but I know a little bit that makes me dangerous, and I know that he laughs because he's like, I have no control. It's kind of the same thing I've learned is we were talking about businesses. They decide where they're going to put their fiber outlook and their outlay, but I think it's important to communicate that you have a gap in service to your county because, like, for example, during COVID, we had a grant, and in that grant, we were able to provide these hotspot Wi-Fis that would allow kids to be able to communicate to the schools because they weren't going to school and they were working from home. And so we wanted to make sure that we were able to address those areas that did not potentially have Wi-Fi, or their parents couldn't afford maybe to have Wi-Fi in their home. So that's what we did. The county may have similar programs where if there's a dead spot, that they might have the ability to help either find you resource or provide resources in the meantime until you get access. So we'll make sure to get you hooked up with somebody.
If you stay after, without getting your specific address, but it looks like you live in St. Lucie County Unincorporated and not the taxing district of the city of Port St. Lucie, is what it's sounding like, even though you have a Port St. Lucie address. So we don't have an address that's St. Lucie County Unincorporated, so you either live in Port St. Lucie or Fort Pierce, but it may not actually be the city. So that's what she's trying to say, we'll contact the county.
And sorry, real quick. And another thing is there's a lot of grants going on right now as well for business owners because of the I think it's SBDC.
Well, the SBDC has programs that can help you. We actually, at the chamber, we can help you too. So before you leave, Margaret in the back will get your information. But we work with the SBDC, SCORE, the county, all of these small business providers to help you get through the transition to business, opening your business up
I
here.
actually spoke with Margaret. That's how I found she's really helpful.
Oh, perfect. Margaret's from my office. Just write that down.
Okay.
Okay.
Trying to figure out how to transfer my business over here. That's what I'm trying to do now.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to get you some help.
All right. If you're going to raise your hand, start walking. There we go. Okay. How funny. That brings up a great question because nobody understands this. I didn't understand it when I first came here, is that we have something called the unincorporated areas of St. Lucie County, and that is where you don't actually live in the city of Port St. Lucie or the city of Fort Pierce, but you may have an address that says Fort Pierce or Port St. Lucie. And when you don't live in the city, many things are different for you. And if you live in the other city, many things are different. So I always tell people when they come here and I say, okay, they say, who's my provider for this? I say, where do you live? And they say, Port St. Lucie. And I say, you're going to have to be more specific than that so that I can help you along. And so we always recommend that if you just move here, call your realtor, call us at the chamber. We can help you out. Michelle, you got a question?
Yes, I've been here 42 years.
Oh my goodness.
So when these roads were like 2-lane roads and they were easy to get around, Becker was a dirt road. But anyway, the light bulb went off in my head when you said something about grants. How's the grant coming with Port St. Lucie with Elijah and his department getting that for businesses?
So they're going to run that through the county as well. It's the county's process. I saw that.
City, no?
It is the city's money, but rather than reinvent the wheel, they're going to partner with the county to distribute it. And the chamber will not be in on that distribution one. So Elijah's working with the county to do that small business. The monies that were set aside for small business grants are going to be run through that county process.
Is it going to be part of the program that's already existing?
Yes, usually that's what they do. And I want to tell you too a little bit about that. It's also about making sure that we utilize the money as best as possible. So it is about not reinventing the wheel, but they have administration that already handles that. And if we decided to do it, then we would also be pulling from that money to provide additional administration and for a short period of time, because once the grant's over, I may not need those employees. So it's really important to try to use all the funding as much as possible for a business. And by allowing the county to disperse that for us, it also cuts down on that employment cost.
It certainly makes sense on paper.
It does. But, and I think Elijah will, if there's any
Elijah's great. He's gonna lean on him to give it out.
Okay. All right, thank you.
I'm speechless. I'm just gonna move on. Anybody else have any questions? No.
I want to just talk about one positive thing before you cut off and pull the hook. I think the Port District is coming along amazingly.
Yeah. Pioneer Park, Port District. It's all exciting.
I can't talk about it, but we might have some exciting news about the restaurant piece coming soon.
Nice.
Which will be very exciting and for the residents. And that to me is living here as long as I've lived here, and like some of you have. I think we've wanted a place of identity, just a place of identity, a gathering place where we can go to and really enjoy locally. And we have a lot of great places, but this is going to really put it over the top, I think, being near the river. And I didn't go to this past River Nights. I wasn't able to make it, but the first River Nights was over 1,000 people that showed up. And every boat slip was full up to like 3 wide. And it just showed the potential of the community opportunity that's available there.
Love it.
So
And hopefully the Historical Society will be occupying a home in the next year and a half, I'm hoping.
yeah,
over
I know
there.
someone
So,
that's the
yeah.
treasurer of the Historical Society.
Yes, some poor sap. No. The next River Nights is November 18th with Reggae Rainfall. So that's,
They're so good.
Are they?
Oh
I'm
my
guessing
gosh,
it's
they're
reggae?
so good.
yeah, very good.
Yeah, they're really, really, really good, and they're a lot of fun. You're gonna have a good time with them.
Perfect. So the cityofportstlucie.com has a lot of your events that are coming up. I always send people to allthingstreasurecoast.com because it has everybody's events, all the events for everybody, whether and you can list your event on that website for free. You just put in the information, we approve it. So make sure you check that out. Get involved in your NICE meetings and your NICE program, and that's cityofpsl.com/NICE, NICE, and get involved in your community. And we'll let you know when our next Coffee with the Mayor is going to be. I think in January, we're going to start on our Thursday date. So I'm excited about that. Any last words before we head out?
I just want to remind everybody that your council and your team is accessible to you. This is your city hall. So if you have questions, if you have concerns, don't hesitate to contact your city council office, and Brandon and Christina will all work really hard to get your issues taken care of or your questions answered. Just know that we are here for you, and it's an honor and privilege to serve. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. And of course, thank you to Mid-Florida Credit Union. We appreciate you very much, and the staff here at City Hall. Till next month, everybody, have a great day.